Hello, welcome to Dad versus Son, Football Explained. This is the podcast where an 8-year-old child asks me questions about football and I attempt to answer them. My name is Martin. I'm your host along with Nai, who's 8 years old. Hello, Nai.
Hi, as my dad said, I'm 8 years old, and as my dad also said, my name is Nai. Me and my dad support Bournemouth, and we are football crazy.
We are. So this is an attempt at an education, isn't it, for you?
Mm-hmm.
And we've already done one.
Listeners.
Yeah, and hopefully the listeners as well. So we've done one podcast on money. What did we learn? Absolutely nothing. That's good. So this is working.
Well, we last the questions were something like why do managers get paid so much? Why do football players get paid so much? Other stuff. And one was, do you think in the next 5 years Southampton are going to win the league? Which was the straight answer was no. So. Yeah. So
we learned nothing really. I think everyone pretty much knew that already.
Well, we learned that how much managers and players get paid.
Which was
something.
Good. This is good knowledge. So stick around, listeners. You're going to learn a lot today. And this podcast is all about
me learning nothing.
What's the topic?
Football.
No. It's always football. That's the podcast. What's the topic for this particular podcast? Referees and rules, right? So Nai has come up with 5 questions on referees and rules. Mm-hmm. I don't know these questions. I've not seen them. This is the first time when Nai reads them out. This is the first time that I get to hear them. And then I have to try and answer them on the spot with the help of the internet and ChatGPT and whatever tools I can find in front of me that will hopefully fool you into thinking that I have football knowledge that I don't actually have. So shall we crack on and go with the first question?
My first question is, why are referees so stupid?
Why are referees so stupid? Wow, okay. So
if you're a referee, then I have no sympathy for you.
Wow, okay. Any referees listening, I'm really sorry on behalf of my son. Nai thinks you're all stupid. Why do you think this? Okay, that's the first thing. Why do you think they're all stupid?
First, because it's in these days, if someone if it was like a handball, they'd be like, "Oh no, it touched their foot," when it literally touched their hand. It's a bit, like. Everybody hates referees, and so do I. So
what you're saying there is they make the wrong decisions.
They make very wrong decisions, and
do you think they always make wrong decisions?
Yes.
Always, every single time.
Every single time.
So do you think then, if referees made wrong decisions every single time, they would still be employed by the Premier League?
Honest answer, I don't know why the Premier League picked them.
Okay. You don't know why they picked them? Probably because they were referees in other leagues. They did really well. It kind of works.
That's like unimaginable that they did really well.
So what do you think is the process for the Premier League choosing referees?
They get promoted from one league to another.
Cool. All right. So that must mean they're good, right?
No.
No. So why do they get promoted if they're not good?
Because the people who promote them are idiots. Okay.
So you think there's a systemic problem at the top of the referee food chain.
Yes.
So I think that's PGMOL. I think that's the referee's body. So do you know what that is?
No.
So it's like the head of the referees. And the head of the referees is someone called Howard Webb, who used to be a referee himself, and famously did not send a man off in the World Cup final, even though he kicked another man in the chest. Have you seen that?
No.
Okay, well, he did that. Anyway, now he's head of all the referees in the Premier League. And
why?
There you go. A very good question. Why do you think?
I have no clue.
Do you think he was just very nice to the head of the previous head of the referees?
No.
No. How do you think he's there then?
Still don't know.
Okay, that's fine. We can move on. So what was your question? I've totally missed what the question was in the first place.
Why referees are so stupid?
Why are referees so stupid? And I questioned and said, were they?
Yeah.
Okay, they are. So we've answered the question, why are referees so stupid? You've answered your own question. Why are referees so stupid? With, they are. Okay. Hopefully we're learning something today. But I think let's move on with question 2.
How do referees get their job?
How do referees get their job?
Yeah.
Good question. How do you think they get their job?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay, that's fine. Well, the internet tells me that some official sporting bodies, like the FA, Football Association, they offer courses for refereeing. So to work as a referee for an FA match, you must complete basic referee training courses at your local county FA centre. So they've been coached, they've had courses, but you still think they're all stupid?
Uh-huh.
Are you still sticking by that then?
Yep.
You're not going to take that back?
Nope.
I feel like you should do one of these courses and then see how you feel. I just
feel like I was really stupid.
You just think instantly you put on the black of a referee and then you become stupid.
Yep.
You think it's like some sort of like anti-superpower costume where you put that on, you are a referee, and you just lose brain cells by the second. Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is interesting because this is kind of like cause and effect. Do you think then referees are intelligent before they become a referee and then suddenly they just lose it? Okay, I really, really hope that there are no referees listening to this at all. Now, I got off my opinion because this seems really harsh at this point.
If you are a referee, then just deal with it.
Because I think refereeing is a really hard job, and I'd criticise referees like all fans do, right? But I think it is a difficult job, right? Do you not think that?
My honest answer really is it can be, but still I don't like referees.
Yeah, we've got that from this podcast so far because you spent about the last 5 minutes just slagging off referees for not much reason. You haven't really given any specific reasons why you hate them so much. Have you got any?
They're always wrong. They pick on certain teams, and
that's interesting. Let's delve into that. You think they pick on certain teams? Mm-hmm. Do you think they're biased? Do you know the word biased?
No. Can you explain that to me?
It means you kind of favour other sort of people, teams, that kind of thing.
They favour a few teams.
Who do you think they favour?
They favour Manchester City, Nottingham Forest.
That's quite random. That's
Bristol Rovers. No, what was it we saw? Bristol City or Bristol Rovers?
Bristol City.
Yeah. And
hang on. I think there's
Blackburn.
I think there's a consistency here. So all of those teams that you've listed, quite random to the casual listener, but these are all teams that we've seen live against Bournemouth.
That is wrong, actually. I didn't pick Aston Villa. Oh!
No, but all the teams that you did say we have seen.
Yeah.
So you think the referees are biased towards any teams that Bournemouth are playing?
Chelsea, they favour Chelsea.
You really are a football fan, aren't you? Because that's pretty much the attitude that most football fans have, is that any team apart from the one that we support, the referees love. So you've got that kind of thinking?
They hate, drum roll please, you can put it. They hate Bournemouth, Fulham, Manchester United.
Why do you say these teams that aren't us? Fulham and Manchester United. Why do you think they hate those teams so much?
Probably because they're no, this is not for Manchester United directly, but they're quite small teams.
Right, this is really interesting, right? Because what you're getting at here is what a lot of football fans and pundits think, which is that the referees...
What are pundits?
Okay, pundits are the people on telly who used to play football and then...
Gary Lineker?
Similarly, he's more of a presenter, but he's a pundit as well. But like Alan Shearer, Micah Richards, Jamie Carragher, Gary Neville, all of these people that used to play football and then comment on what has just happened, what they've just seen. So they all say, or a lot of them say, that the referees favour the bigger teams, especially in the bigger games.
True.
So that is what you're saying around about. So do you think there is a conspiracy where the referees are biased towards the bigger teams and give them more decisions? Well, there you go. You could be a pundit now. Get yourself on Monday Night Football, I reckon.
Woo!
Absolutely.
I'm a bit too young, though.
You're a bit too young. I don't know.
I think about 18.
I think they should stick you on there. I think you'd be great value. I think you have more knowledge than some pundits that are on telly at the moment.
What, like the pundits that think Bournemouth are going to go down in the league?
No, I was just thinking Michael Owen mainly. Yeah.
Who's he?
Not a very good pundit. Right, what was that question? Remind me. How do they get started? Well, we really went off topic on that one, didn't we?
Oh yeah, definitely. How do referees get their job?
Well, I think we touched on it. I think they do coaching, and I think they work their way up through the leagues just like players do. If they're good, they get
promoted.
essentially get promoted. They do higher profile games, and then eventually they go up to the Premier League. And if they're really good in the Premier League, they get to referee at
Champions League.
Yes, that Champions League. And then if they're really good in that, they get to referee in what's the biggest tournament in the world?
Euros.
Bigger than that?
World Cup.
World Cup, yeah. Euros, then sort of World Cup. It just works like any job. You're good at it, you get promoted, and then you get to do bigger.
Not every job.
Like what job are you thinking of where you don't get promoted if you do good work?
Jane's job.
Jane's job. Just for context, Jane is your stepmom, and she is a lawyer.
She's in the house right now.
She's in the house right now. And she definitely does get promoted if she does a good job.
Okay, Uncle James?
Yeah, he's been promoted several times because he's done a good job.
Uncle Ryan?
Yeah, he's also been promoted.
Should we go to the next question?
Yes, let's move on to the next question.
The next question is, why do they hate football?
The referees.
Yeah.
Why do the referees hate football? Do you think that's the case if they referee in football?
Yeah.
So, do you know the term glutton for punishment?
Nope.
Glutton is when you're kind of greedy for something. Punishment, you know what punishment means. So it means they actually really like being punished. Because that's what it would be, right?
Referees like being punished.
Well, what you're saying is the referees hate football, yet they choose to, and bear this in mind, they're not being made to do this. This is something they've chosen. They've chosen to referee football matches. So how does that work? Yet you're saying they hate football.
I mean, kind of do, because, I'm saying they pick on certain teams.
We've established this. We've definitely talked about that. But you're not saying that. What you're saying here is they hate football, is what you said.
They don't like any football teams that much. Well, they favour a few, but...
You said they hate football. We need to get back onto that. Because do you think that's the case?
I feel like I was wrong on this question.
It's all right. Just because I'm challenging you doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means you have to argue why you said...
Do I have to shout argue?
You don't have to. No, you can argue without shouting. That's a pretty good lesson to learn, especially when you've got a microphone in front of you, and if you do shout, it's gonna go a bit mad.
It's gonna go red.
Yeah, it's gonna go red. So
it will sound awful.
Yeah. So yeah, you said it was the question, why do referees hate football? Okay. Are you changing your mind on that now?
Yeah. I don't have another question to replace it.
They surely must love football, otherwise why would they do such a difficult job? Don't you think?
Yeah, at the time I just hated them so much I thought I should just throw something funny in there.
Oh, okay. Which was?
Why do referees hate football?
Why do referees hate football? I'm trying to think of another example of someone who hates the thing that they have to do all the time. And basically most people and their jobs, I think, is the example I've come up with. Anyway.
That question was like the one last week when I said, why is it so cheap to go to football games? That was the question, wasn't it? And the answer was, they're not. And the answer for this question was, they don't.
But this is why we ask questions, right? So what do we think? Do you think referees love football? Now, I tell you there's one referee who I know for a fact loves football.
Uncle Ryan?
He's not a referee. He's a football player.
Who does?
So Dermot Gallagher, right?
You've met him.
No, is it Dermot Gallagher or Mike Riley? Hang on, I need to check this out. No, it's Mike Riley. I get those two confused because they both have no hair. And they were both referees. And both quite controversial. But he's Mike Riley. Mike Riley, very famous, eccentric referee. Does a lot of weird stuff.
Have you met him?
On the pitch. I haven't met him personally.
Then why did you say that you have met him?
When did I say I met him?
Well, you said. I thought you said I
think I said something. I know for a fact that he loves football. But I don't need to have met him to know that. Anyway, so the reason why I know this is because there's quite a fairly famous clip of him in the stands watching his favourite team, which is Tranmere, going absolutely crazy on his feet, chanting. He's basically leading the other fans, and he's a referee. But he's allowed to go to football matches when he's not working and support teams, but he really loves football. And I think that's why he does the job, which is quite admirable.
Right.
You've got no thoughts on that whatsoever?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Well, let's move on with the next question then.
Was most of referees' dads, were they referees themselves?
Oh, good question. I don't know the answer to this one at all.
Maybe ask ChatGPT.
I might just ask Google and see what comes up.
But it's fun when you ask Chat DBT or whatever it's called.
ChatGPT. We'll do both. So what was the question again?
Was most of the referees' dads that are referees now, were they referees themselves?
So I'm going to try and phrase that in a question that Google might understand. So did most referees have referee dads? That makes sense?
Yeah.
There isn't much information about whether most referees have referee dads, probably because it's quite a specific question, and also they probably don't know the answer to this. But I can tell you a different fact, right? That's come up. I will ask ChatGPT. But I found out at 90 years old, Frank Foster is the world's oldest football referee. He's been refereeing for over 43 years and still referees men's, women's and children's games 3 times a week.
Children's games?
In Sheffield. So what do you think about that? He's 90.
And he still does it?
He still does it, yeah. He still does it 3 times a week.
He's like David Attenborough.
Yeah, exactly. Like a refereeing equivalent of David Attenborough.
Mm.
So, yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
Crazy.
Do you think that's crazy?
I think it's crazy that a 90-year-old man is still refereeing now.
So he must like football, surely.
Maybe.
Okay. Not getting much out of you today, am I?
I mean, I didn't have much sleep last night.
Okay. Were you dreaming about referees?
No. I was dreaming of how much I love certain artists that I don't really want to say because I'm too young to listen to some. So, yeah, you can cut that bit out. Right.
Well, ChatGPT says, unhelpfully, while having a parent who was a referee might influence some individuals to pursue refereeing, it is not common or typical for most soccer referees to have referee fathers.
Is she American?
Sorry?
Is she American? She said soccer.
Who's she? ChatGPT?
Yeah. I like to call her she.
ChatGPT is genderless. This is very 2024.
But I really want... I want to give it a gender.
Oh, this is very dangerous. You're giving AI a gender.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I've already give Alexa a gender, and that's woman.
That's woman. Woman Alexa. Makes sense.
And then Google, when someone goes like, "Hey Google."
So, by the way, Nye just set off the Google in the room. And now it's probably going to start chatting to us in a minute.
That's you can tell by the voice that it's a woman. The gender... for a change, I'm going to turn ChatGPT's gender into a boy because I want to. Okay,
well, that's good because I have a male voice, hopefully. So let me continue with what ChatGPT said.
Do it in a nice deep voice. All
right, I'll try my best. Many referees come from diverse backgrounds, with some having experience as players and coaches. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'll edit this to have a deep voice afterwards. So
many referees come from diverse backgrounds, with some having experience as players or coaches, while others might develop an interest in officiating independently. Family connections to refereeing are more of an exception than a widespread pattern in the profession.
Does that answer your question?
I don't get it, but sure.
Essentially, well, I don't know where they're getting this information from. I think it's guessing, or he's guessing, but you don't need to have a referee dad
to be a referee. Got it.
Usually, and this is what we're saying, usually they have a passion for the sport, despite the fact you think the referees hate football. So there you go. Question answered. Why not?
To the last question.
Have we done 4 already?
Yes, we have. To the last question. The last question is... why do referees pick on certain teams?
This is very similar to what you've said before, which is that you think there's an agenda.
That's why I didn't like you answering it.
Okay, so what I want to do now for this, because this has been quite opinion-based, I am going to ask the internet if there's any statistical evidence that suggests that referees have a bias towards certain teams, right? So
they'll probably say, probably or not really.
Or you can't prove it, most likely. So what do you think it's going to say?
I think it's going to say they don't know. They're just going to throw something to do with the referees that have nothing to do with the referee. Well, with the question I asked.
Well, ChatGPT is... How was the toilet break?
Toilet break, what?
Please don't answer it.
The toilet break was wee, and I said to the toilet wee wee, and I had one. So
thanks, Nye. I was really hoping you weren't going to answer that question and we'd just move on. But no, you had to do it. Right, I'm going to bring us back on topic. Before you decided to, out of the blue, go to the toilet, we were talking about referees and referees' biases. And I've managed to find something, right, while you were in the toilet.
Really?
Yes, apparently there have been studies on this. I don't think it's specifically about football, but sport in general. But apparently previous empirical studies have found referee bias in favour of the home team. And this is because there's a couple of studies have shown this. And this is because of what they call social factors, which essentially means the noise that the home team crowd is making is enough to convince the referee to favour the home team, whether they actually realise it or not. So a home team advantage is definitely a thing.
That's why they were so nice to Nottingham. Oh my God.
Maybe you're right. I don't think it's the case all the time, but it has been.
It is.
It has been proven. I mean, I think everyone kind of knows that the home team advantage is real. When you've got, 30, 40,000 supporters on your back asking you to make a decision, it's kind of hard to say no. Or indeed, if you're at Bournemouth and you've got 5 supporters asking you to do a certain thing, I guess it's less difficult to make that call.
Good point.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, well, are those all the questions answered then?
All of the questions answered, unless you want me to take back what we did last week and ask one completely off topic.
Nah, it's all right. No, have you got a question ready that's completely off topic?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
How did Erling Haaland get to be such a good player?
How did Erling Haaland...
Ooh, and Jude Bellingham.
And Jude Bellingham.
Yeah.
Wow, it's the classic how do you get to Carnegie Hall question, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've never heard that before, have you?
No.
No.
No,
the whole thing. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice. Yeah, it's practice. And it does help.
Practice.
It does also help to be a giant 6 foot plus Viking as well.
Oh, so I could just do that. I'll probably be a 6 foot.
That's true. You're not so Viking, but if you carry on growing at the rate that you are and eating all the food in the house, then you will be 6 foot plus. Welsh giant.
I'll probably be 8 foot, 8 foot, 9 foot.
Yeah, I don't deny that. Again, for context, Nye is 8 years old. He's in size age 12.
At least, like, people would still be tempted if I said I'm 13.
Yeah, I think most people think you're at secondary school, which is quite hilarious when you do things like play football and tennis and sport when you're about a foot taller than everybody else.
Is that why you were laughing at me when I went to tennis this morning?
No, it was because you did something wrong and it was funny.
What did I do wrong?
You just didn't take a ball with you and your coach was like, what are you going to hit?
Before that, you were laughing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go.
Because everyone was tiny.
That's that question answered. And that's the end of the podcast. So we have an email address now, which
is dadvson something plus something.
It's not that. Don't type that in when you send an email. That will get a definite bounce back. It's dadversussonpodcast@gmail.com. So if you want to suggest any topics, if you have any questions for Nye, please let us know. And anything that you want us to talk about, we will. Within reason.
What we should do? If anyone likes the podcast, we could make a code so they can have a 5-minute video call with us.
All right. I don't think we're that famous yet.
No, when we're if they like it.
Are you starting a new business? So this is like a sort of cameo thing. If you pay us some money, then you can have a video call with us where Nye will ask questions like, "Why are referees so stupid?"
No, I will just. It will be like me and my dad.
You're scaling up this business pretty quickly.
Maybe 2 minutes. But
whatever it is, we're going to make money off you.
In that time, you could ask questions to us, and we could answer them.
Yeah, in the meantime, just email us, I think, before we do that. And thank you so much for listening. Do you want to sign off now?
What do you mean sign off?
End the podcast.
With the little theme tune.
No, we have a theme song. I'll play that afterwards. You just need to say goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Hopefully it's the best podcast you've ever heard. It probably won't be, but bye.